Hey everyone, welcome to Yoga for AS. I'm Jamie Boda. I was diagnosed with AS when I was 18 and had symptoms since the age of 14. In short, yoga has changed my life and I'm now a yoga teacher. If you haven't tried yoga before, no worries. Try this tutorial to get started, and if you have practiced yoga before, this class is still suitable. Ensure there's enough room in your house or wherever you're practicing, about the size of a single bed. The equipment you may need is a chair that you can easily move around and a belt. And one key phrase to remember throughout this class is stretch, not strain. And most importantly, enjoy and stay tuned for more videos to come. Okay everyone, let's get started. Make your way onto a seat. I'm going to sit up on a chair. You can sit on the floor if that's something you like to do and have done previous. But there's nothing wrong with sitting on a chair. We're looking to be comfortable but also have a nice long spine, so try to avoid slouching in your chair. Just do your best. That's all we can do. You can always take your arms either side of the chair or the floor and just grip into the chair, just to give some length. Imagine there's a string attached to the top of your head and it's drawing you up to the ceiling. So nice and long. And then you can take your hands onto your knees, or you can take your hands onto your lap. We're going to begin with some breathing just to help to calm down the nervous system. If we can calm the body down, we can then stretch deeper and release more tension and then decrease more pain. So this is how the breathing is going to go. Inhale for 4 and exhale for 6 through the nose if you can. If you can't do it through the nose, that's alright. You might have a blocked nose or something. But if you can, breathing through the nose. Inhale for 4 and exhaling for 6. And if this feels too much, you can always inhale for 3 and exhale for 5. Or even inhale for 2 and exhale for 4. I'm going to take you through 6 rounds and just do your best. You do not have to follow the length that I'm doing. You can do the other alternatives that I've just explained. So let's exhale to begin. Just empty your lungs. Now inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Last one. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just allow your breathing to come back to its natural rhythm. And throughout your practice, throughout your class today, see if you can breathe in through the nose. And be a little bit more aware of your breathing than you would throughout your day. We're going to move into some neck stretches now. Keep everything where it is, the spine nice and long, the torso facing the front, chest is broad, and just start to turn to look past your right shoulder. You may find over time that your range of motion slightly increases, but you're not forcing into this. You're not pulling, you're not straining. Take a last deep breath in and out. Take it back to center. We're going to turn to look past the left shoulder. 3 rounds of breath. I'll take you through it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Take it back to center. We're going to do 3 rounds of breath for each pose. And it's about breathing through your own rhythm. So if you find that 5 rounds of breath works better for you in that period of time, then do so. You might find that 2 rounds of breath works better. Drop your right ear now down to your right shoulder. Again, you don't have to force and crunch into this. Just being gentle. As long as you're feeling a stretch, you're getting the benefit. Let's come back to the breath in your own time. Take it back to center and to the other side. Left ear down to the left shoulder. Lovely, take it back to center and let's come to stand. You can remove the chair for now, you may need it later. Coming into what's known as mountain posture. Yes, this is a posture. Feet hip distance apart. Before you do anything, see if you can just lift your toes, spread them wide, and then firmly start to press them down into the floor. Feel all of your feet really pressing down and engaging here. Standing nice and tall. Arms open by your side. Just notice how you're standing. Can you stand even taller? Coming back to that idea of a string attached to the top of the head, drawing yourself up. Come back to the breath, in and out through the nose. Can you engage your legs? And when I mean engage, squeeze the legs, even squeeze the buttocks. Stand tall. Stand proud. Okay, we're going to move into our next posture. This is chair pose. So, start to bend the knees. I'm going to stand side on actually. Start to bend the knees down towards the floor. And you may already start to feel a stretch into the Achilles and the calves. This might be enough for you today. And if you're feeling a bit off balance, use a chair, use a wall. That's why we've got them there as props. This might feel enough. Stay here. But for those who want to go a bit deeper, you can sink your knees a little bit down, further down, feel more of a stretch. And you do have the option to take the arms up overhead. But do what feels best. Listen to your body. Feel that stretch in the back of the legs. Lovely. Press back up to standing. We're going to move into what's known as standing tabletop now. So you can either use a chair or a wall if you don't have a chair. I'm going to demonstrate with a chair, but the same thing would apply to a wall. So you have the chair out in front of you and have the arms straight to begin with. Start to walk your feet back. So ideally, we're looking for a couple of about 2 or 3 feet away from the chair. Start to bend the knees and sink the chest down towards the floor. And you're going to start to feel a stretch into the hamstrings, a stretch into the shoulders, the chest, the back of the legs, maybe even the spine. But you can bend the knees as much as you like here and just focus on really drawing that chest down towards the floor. For some of you, you might be up here and you feel the stretch, you're getting the benefit. Remember, we don't have to go as deep. Coming back to the breath. Take a nice deep breath in. Draw yourself back up. And we're going to go into standing separate leg stretch. So turn your chair out to the side. You can use a wall here, so have a wall handy. And if you don't have a wall, if you've got a friend or someone you can hold on to, that's another option. Just something to give you some balance if you need it, but the likelihood is you probably won't. But it's nice to know it's there, isn't it? Firmly press your left leg down to the floor and then lift your right knee up and place your right leg onto the chair. Your right foot, your right heel on the chair. So for some of you, you might feel you want to have your left leg a little bit further back. Some of you a bit closer, adjust accordingly. You can have a nice bend in the right knee. You don't have to have the leg straight because that could be too intense for some of you. You can start with a bend and then over time look to straighten it, but see if you can avoid rounding the spine. See if you can stand nice and tall. So I'm just going to use the wall here and not the chair. Ideally we keep everything upright and it's just the leg, and we're looking to send the chest forward. You feel a nice stretch into the hamstrings. Take it down and we're going to do the same on the left. Press that right foot into the floor. Engage the right leg, squeeze the buttocks, and then lift the leg. Left leg up, left heel placing onto the chair. And again, if you need to bend a knee, do so. If you need to have your foot closer, do so. Just modify. Listen to your body. Do what feels best. And use a wall if you need. Use a chair if you need. Make sure you're stable, comfortable, and you're not straining. Take that back down. Release your hand from the wall or the chair and just come back to standing. Okay, so we're going to go into the next pose. This is called standing forward fold. So you may want to use a chair here. It's up to you. You can realize that you might need a chair in the first instance, but eventually you might not. So start back in mountain, the pose you went through earlier. Take a deep breath in, bend the knees, hinge at the hips, send the bum behind you and start to fold the body forward. Start to send the chest down towards the floor. Now, for some of you, you might find that you want to take your hands onto a chair in front of you. And you'll feel a stretch into the hamstrings, back to the legs, the lower spine. But for some of you, you may find that you can take the chest lower down to the floor, still with the hands on the chair. And if you feel good here, you have the other option, keeping the knees as bent as you like, to take maybe even the fingertips down to the floor. And if the fingertips don't touch, you could place a book maybe underneath the hands, a couple of cushions to give it something to rest upon, but you can bend the knees, and then you might find that you can take the palms down. But you can see here, I don't have straight legs, my knees are bent, and you may find that by bending your knees, you can actually take the hands down. This is a lot safer than trying to keep the legs straight and fold forward. This is going to protect the lower spine. Breathing. Remember to breathe in this posture. Slowly, very slowly, start to bend the knees, keeping them bent. You can take your hands back onto the chair. Slowly come back up, keeping the chin tucked into the head. Don't come up too fast. Coming back into mountain. We're going to make our way to all fours now. So do this in a way that you would normally, okay? Don't try to get down there in any special way. You could use a chair and just come down to all fours, or you can do it without. I'm using these options, or giving these options, because it's just nice to give options. And some of you might find that you don't need a chair, and that's fine. Some of you might find you do. So it's just, everyone's different, and everyone's bodies will change over time. If you continue with this practice, you'll find very quickly that some of the things you needed or used would change as you develop and become more flexible and strong. So, back to yoga, all fours. Wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Wrists are shoulder distance apart, knees are hip distance apart. If you find already, this is tender on the knees, you have a couple of options. If you're using a mat, which some of you will be, you can fold the mat over, like I'm doing, just to give some padding for the knees. If you're not using a mat, you can always grab a couple pillows and place them underneath the knees. And another option, if you don't have any pillows, a couple jumpers, just get creative. Get creative. We're going to move through what's known as cat-cow. This is a great way to warm up the spine and mobilize the spine. Pressing firmly into the mat. Let's drop the belly down towards the floor. Send the hips back towards the ceiling, your bum up towards the ceiling. Send the chest forward. There's an arch in the spine here. You don't have to go too deep as long as you're feeling it in the spine. And even if you're not feeling it in the spine, don't worry, you don't have to feel everything. This is cow pose. Okay, great. Now, I know this isn't the nicest analogy, but imagine someone's just punched you in the stomach and you're having to draw the belly in. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Spine draws up towards the ceiling. Imagine there's a magnet in the middle of your spine, drawing the spine up. Rounding the spine. If you've ever seen a cartoon of like a shrieking cat, this is the pose we're looking to embody. If this feels a bit of a strain in the spine, you don't have to go as deep, okay? And for some of you, it just might not feel good altogether. You can just go from cow back to neutral. So this is cat. Okay, let's move back in to cow by dropping the belly down, sending the hips back, chest forward. Let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's come back into cat. Drawing the spine up to the ceiling. Inhale, chest forward, hips back, arching the spine. Cow, exhale. Cat. Lovely, take it back to neutral. We're going to move into our next pose. We're going to come into downward facing dog. And just a precaution here, for some of you, down dog might not work today, might not work next week. It will eventually feel right for your body, but today it might not. So you've got to really listen, okay? This goes for the whole practice. I'm going to keep reiterating this. It's not a failure to not do a pose. Every single step you do in this practice is moving you forward, not back. You don't have to do everything. But for those who want to give it a go, you may have done it before, we're going to give it a try. But just know you can be on all fours and you're still building strength on all fours. So curl the toes under and lift the knees and send the hips up and back towards the ceiling and keep the knees as bent as you like. Drawing the hips up and back towards the ceiling, bending the knees, drawing the chest down towards the thighs as if the belly is trying to touch the tops of the thighs. Stick your bum up towards the ceiling. Press your hands firmly into the floor. Spread your fingertips wide, pressing through your knuckles. This is downward facing dog. Stretching the legs, stretching the shoulders, stretching the middle of the spine. It's a bang for buck posture, but it is tough, especially if you haven't done it before. Keeping the head neutral, keeping the head in line with the insides of your armpits. One more breath in, and out, come back to all fours. We'll meet those who stayed on all fours. And remember, being on all fours, you're still engaging the arms, you're still building strength, and eventually one day you may feel you can go into down dog, okay? Right, we're going to move into our next posture by extending that right leg back behind you. Extend it away. Be aware of the left knee here. Make sure you've got padding if the left knee feels tender. And then draw the right knee forward, 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 and step it through. Now, for some of you, this is a no-go. What you can do is come up to kneeling, and this is probably a better variation for most people that are new to yoga. The one I'm giving is a bit more advanced, but this is perfect. If you come to kneeling, you can use a wall and step that right foot through. Okay? Right, we're in low lunge. We need to make sure that we've got some good alignment here. This right knee, we want to be stacked over the ankle. But what we don't want is it to be splaying so far forward that it's over the toes. So if you can see, we've got a nice right angle shape, and it's the same on the left side. That left thigh is firmly rooted down, left leg behind you. It's like two right angles. You can take your hands by your side, onto your hips, or onto your right thigh. Now I want everyone here to squeeze the buttocks, squeeze your bum. And you'll feel this stretch right into the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle is a muscle that connects from the top of the thigh all the way round to your lower spine. This stretch is really good to release pain in the lower spine. Sometimes, nearly all the time, it's all connected, right? If we can stretch the legs, it's going to release tension in the spine as well. Anyway, back to yoga. Do one more deep breath in and out. Okay, we're going to step that right leg back to meet the left, either back to kneeling, or for some of you, you could try the option from all fours, extending the left leg out behind you, drawing the right knee in towards the chest and then stepping it through. You can use the left hand onto that left shin and pick the left foot up. And as I said, this is just one option. Another option is from kneeling, stepping that left foot through. Do what feels best. Now come back to that alignment. Is your left knee stacked over the left ankle? Is it nice and aligned, like right ankles? Same with the right side. Try to avoid that left knee going too far forward or too far back. Nice and neutral. Pay deep attention to your knees, okay? If you're feeling any tension, get a couple of blankets, cushion it. Get it nice and supported. Again, hands can stay on the wall, hands on the thighs, by your side, and squeeze the buttocks once again. Squeeze your bum like your life depends on it. Come back to the breath, in and out through the nose. And then slowly step back to all fours. Hands onto the floor, on our all fours, and we're going to lower down onto the belly. And you can get there in whatever way feels best for you. One option is to keep the elbows close into the body. This is a way to build a bit of strength and slowly lower down. That's one option. Another option is to take your hips down to the floor, your bum down to the floor, and then put one arm down and then the other. Coming down onto the belly. Your feet want to be together to touch. If it feels quite difficult, you can have them a little bit open. Take your hands underneath the shoulders, resting underneath the shoulders. Before we do anything, I want you to press your fingers, grip them down into the floor, pressing in through the palms. You're not pushing, you're just pressing them down. Okay, so we're not pressing up, we're pressing down. Now, I want you to press the tops of the the tops of the feet firmly down onto the floor. Press them so much that your kneecaps lift. Squeeze your bum, squeeze your legs, squeeze your bum like your life depends on it. And now, start to draw the chest up off the floor. This is baby cobra. This is a spine strengthening posture. So good to build strength in the spine. Do not use the strength of your arms here, you're using the strength of your spine. So if you lifted your arms, you'd stay where you are, you wouldn't fall back down. This is a spine strengthening posture. And some of you might only just make an inch up, some of you might make many inches, and over time it will improve, I promise you. Okay, release that down. We're going to make our way back to all fours. You can either push yourself back up using the strength of your arms. That's one option. Another option is to press in for your right hand or your left hand. Take your feet to one side and come up to a seat. Okay, this next posture is known as staff pose. So, some of you might be sitting down and being like, oof, this is too much. I'm not very used to sitting down on the floor, and a lot of us aren't. We're not used to it, but we're designed to sit. We can do it. What we can use is a pillow. Get this pillow, and we sit up on the pillow. And that way we can allow the fleshy parts of the bum to be removed away, and we're making sure that we've got most of our body weight onto the sit bones, that bony part. And then we're going to extend both legs straight out in front of us. We can have a bit of a bend in the knees, that's fine. Arms by your side, hip distance apart. Draw the chest up, nice long spine. So we're not rounding here, but we're doing our best, okay? We're looking to be as long and tall as we can be. Imagine there's a string on the top of your head, drawing yourself up. Feel a stretch into your legs, engage the legs. Can you flex the toes towards the face? Can you point the toes towards your face? Some of you might find you can do this with straight legs. But all of you, regardless if your legs are bent or straight, you can really squeeze the legs and activate it. This is going to help to build strength in the legs and the back of the legs, because we need flexibility, but we also need strength. We need both. Okay, everyone, we're going to slowly make our way out of this posture by drawing the soles of the feet onto the floor. You can remove the pillow or the cushion and hold on to the backs of your thighs. Hold on to the backs of your thighs and slowly roll down onto your spine. Okay. If lying down feels too much in the neck, like lying down with your head on the floor, grab a pillow or a block, a cushion. You can place this underneath it. You don't want to strain the neck, okay? Listen to your body. Now bring the soles of the feet onto the floor, knees up towards the ceiling, feet hip distance apart. We're going to come into bridge pose, which is a very gentle back bend, and also is a good way to build strength in the backs of the legs and in the spine. Now, for some of you, having your feet hip distance apart will work. For some of you, you might want to have them together. So if you're experiencing a little bit of discomfort, try it with the feet together. Have the arms by your side, palms pressing down towards the floor. Press your palms down firmly to the floor before you do anything. So the absolute stage one is just to engage the bum and squeeze the bum, and you might find that the bum slightly lifts off the floor, just slightly, and that might be enough for you today. That might be enough. So for some of you, it just might be a little lift in the bum. But for some of you, you might find you can lift the bum higher up to the ceiling, squeezing the pelvis, squeezing the hips. Imagine there's a watermelon between your thighs and you're trying to burst it. Burst it, burst it, burst it. Bridge pose. One more deep breath in. And out, slowly lower down. Okay, lovely stuff. We're going to go into our next pose called reclined pigeon pose. So, keep everything where it is, but take your right foot off the floor and place your right shin on the top of the left thigh. You might already start to feel a stretch into the outside of the right thigh. This might be enough for you today. You're still getting the stretch and you're still getting the benefits. For some of you that want to go deeper, you have the option to take your hands either onto the back of the right thigh and draw that right knee down to the right shoulder. Another option is to take the hands just below the right knee and squeeze very gently that right knee down towards the right shoulder. And another option, which is going to take this a bit deeper, is lifting that left leg off the floor. And again, drawing either behind the back of the right thigh or below the right knee, draw towards the shoulder. Or the last option is to interlace the fingers between that gap between the right leg and the left, holding onto the back of the left thigh and drawing that down. That will really intensify this stretch. Such a good posture to open up the outside of the right hip, but also this can get into the sacroiliac joint, the SI joint, which a lot of people with AS have inflammation, and a lot of the pain stems there. So this is a great way to begin to open things up, to release tension, relieve inflammation, break down inflammation by stretching. Okay, release that down. I'm going to do the same on the other side, lifting the left foot off, the left leg off, placing it onto just below the right knee, top of the right thigh, and you have the same options as before. I'm going to go through them a bit quicker. Option 1, hold on to the back of the right thigh. Option 2, hold on below the left knee and draw the left knee towards the left shoulder. Next option is to lift that right leg off the floor, and again you can hold on to the back of the left thigh. You can hold on below the left knee, or you can interlace the fingertips behind the right thigh and draw the right leg down towards the chest. Remember to breathe, everyone. Keep breathing. Take that down. Got a couple more postures to go. You're nearly there and you've done so well. Next posture is going to stretch the hamstrings. Extend your left leg out long and lift your right knee. You will need a belt for this. Sorry, I should have said that before I started. You need a belt for this. You don't need a special yoga belt. If you have one, awesome. If you don't, use a normal belt. That'll do fine. And you're going to take this belt behind the foot. Have that left leg nice and straight. It's a little bit bent, but if it feels too much to have it straight, you can have the sole of the left leg on the floor. And now, holding on to this strap or belt, keeping the right knee bent. For now, start to extend that right leg up towards the ceiling. As soon as you feel the stretch, stop. You don't have to straighten the leg. My leg isn't straight, but I'm feeling the stretch, and therefore I'm getting the benefits. Over time in this posture, you might find you can go a little bit deeper. Okay, take the right leg down. We're going to do the same on the other side. Lift that left leg up towards the ceiling. Take the strap or the belt behind the left foot. Draw the left leg up. So you can either have the sole of the right foot on the floor or extend it out long, your choice. Again, you don't need to straighten the left leg. You can have a bend in the left knee. I've got a bend, but I'm feeling the stretch. That's the important. Alrighty, take that down, release that now. And then draw the knees up towards the chest. I want you to hold on just below the knees and start to squeeze the knees into the chest. Some of you might find you can interlace the fingers. Awesome, if you can. Some of you might find you can either hold on to the forearms or the elbows. Squeezing the knees in towards the chest. Squeeze them in. Tops of the thighs down towards the chest. Okay, I'm just going to turn to the side so you'll be able to see me for this last stretch. Take the arms out wide like a capital letter T. If you don't have space to do so, you can take your arms into like a cactus shape. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, start to take the right knees down towards the right side. Now, did you just hear that? That is proof right there that this stuff works. Did you hear my back? That was my back clicking. So that's a good thing, because it's releasing tension in the spine. This is a reclined twist. Such a good way to stretch out the spine, wring out the spine. Now, for some of you, this might be definitely enough. And if you want to decrease intensity, you can also take a little pillow just to rest the right knee onto, if having the legs all the way down feels too much. But if you're someone who wants to go a bit deeper and you feel that you have more depth available today, you can take the right hand and place it onto the outside of the left knee. Just gently press the left knee down towards the floor. And the final option is to take your gaze past your left fingertips, starting to turn to look past the left fingertips. Okay, take your right arm back down if you had it pressed onto the outside of the left knee. Now take a nice deep breath in, draw the knees back up to center. Exhale out, allow the knees to fall to the left. And we have the same options as before. You can always take a pillow underneath that left leg if this feels too much. Option to take the left hand to the outside of the right knee. So just gently pressing into the outside of the right knee. The final option is to turn to look past the right fingertips. Take your left arm back out. Inhale, breath to draw the knees back up to center. Squeeze the knees one last time in towards the chest. And now extend your legs out long. Now, we're going to come into the most important posture of this practice. It's called Savasana, and it means dead body pose. This is the point where we absorb everything we've just done. We take some time to let everything just sink in. So for some of you, you might want to have the soles of the feet on the floor and the knees still up. But for others, you may find you can extend comfortably your right and left leg out wide, allow the toes to fall out either side. Arms, importantly for everyone, resting to your side, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Before we come into this relaxation, I just want you to see if you can create a bit of a double chin. So imagine you're trying to create a double chin, a triple chin, quadruple chin, and you'll feel a stretch into the back of the neck. And if you were to speak, you would sound weird like I do or I did. And as I said earlier, if having your neck or the back of your head onto the floor feels too much, use a pillow and place it underneath. Hold this double chin. And then release that, but see if you can have it just to 10%. And this goes for any time that you're lying down. This helps to counteract the extension that we do with the neck when we spend a lot of time on computers or phones. Okay, we're going to start to encourage some relaxation. Before we do, I want you to take the biggest breath you've ever taken. I know it's a challenge. How much breath can you take into your lunge? First, fill up your belly like a balloon. Keep the breath going. Can you now expand your chest deep, deep, deep breath in. Exhale, open the mouth wide with a sigh and let it out. Close the mouth and just allow your breathing to come back to its natural rhythm. Close the eyes, soften the eyes. At this point in the practice, there's no need for you to do anything at all. There's nowhere to be, there's nothing to do. Just be here in this moment. Okay, everyone, we're going to slowly start to come out of Savasana. Start to wiggle the toes, the fingers, the ankles, the wrists. And then, in your own time, come to lie on your right side in a little fetal position. And press yourself up into a seat, coming back coming back onto a chair. Or you can remain seated. Some of you might find you can sit cross-legged. If it's your jam, do it. But if not, just come back up to a chair. I want you to close the eyes. Take a moment to acknowledge yourself for taking the time out of your day for yourself, for your body, to help to relieve tension, to help to decrease pain. Observe how you feel in the body now compared to when you started. Keep this going. You've started the momentum, and the more you practice, the more benefits you'll see. Be proud of yourself for taking this time. You deserve it. We all deserve to feel good. This is a big step towards it. Thank you, everyone, so much for taking the time to practice with me today. We're going to seal our practice by saying Namaste, which just translates to the light in me sees the light in you. Namaste, everyone. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. If this video added value to you, please like or comment, and importantly subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay updated for more tutorials to come. If you know someone who could benefit from this tutorial, please do share it with them. You can reach out to me via Instagram at Jamie Boda or Geoff Lindsay, who you may have seen in previous tutorials at jeff.lindsay. Lastly, if you want to be part of a supportive community where you can learn more about Yoga for AS, join our Facebook group Yoga for AS. You can see the link for all of these in the description of this video. Take care, see you all soon.